NCIS. Does father really know best? Jessica Knight's Katrina Law. Father shows up in DC to work with the team on tonight's NCIS. NCIS returns from its hiatus tonight with a fun episode that introduces us to Jessica Knight's Katrina Law. Father, Special Agent in Charge Feng Zhao, Russell Wong, who works with the DC team to unravel the mystery of a recently used service weapon belonging to a missing agent. Oh, but not the fun part. The amusing part comes when Jessica introduces her dad to her boyfriend and new love Jimmy Palmer, Brian Dietzen. And you might expect it would go well. After all, what father doesn't want his daughter dating a doctor, even overprotective dads? But Zhao isn't your normal father. It's not necessarily that he disapproves of Jimmy and the relationship. It's more about he wants more for his daughter. Law told Parade at the celebration for the 1000th episode of NCIS. And he's worried that his daughter may have stagnated in DC out of a little bit of trauma from losing her React team. So he's basically just checking in with her to make sure that she's still on the path that she wants to be. But in the meantime, we do get to see a daddy-daughter fight, which is kind of kick-ass. So very excited for the audience to see that. The plans that Dad has for his daughter are in line with her becoming the next director of NCIS. After all, there's already been one female director, Jenny Shepard, Lauren Hawley. So it's possible that he doesn't want any man to get in her way, no matter how lovely Jimmy is. Funny that you say that because the episode is called The Plan. Law continues. The plan is actually the career plan that her father and Jessica had actually worked out for the two of them for Jessica to go on. So yes, he does eventually see her being a director one day. Right now, she's not necessarily headed towards that path, so he's basically making sure that that's still what she wants. And as for Jimmy, he's had a tough couple of years. He lost his wife Brina, Michelle Pierce, during the COVID pandemic. He nearly died alongside Cassie, Diana Reasonover, in the lab. Then he was kidnapped and sent to Hawaii. So there's been a lot. And in the middle of all that, he met and fell in love with Jessica, blurting it out in front of everyone in the squad room. Just because you fall in love with someone, you can't just say, "I love you," and then all of a sudden everything is perfect from there on out till eternity. Dietzen says of having to meet Jessica's father. There's going to be bumps along the way, there's going to be some things that happen. So when Jimmy meets Knight's father, it doesn't go entirely according to plan. And there are some bumps in the road a little bit when he's meeting her dad and figuring out what their next steps are together. In the 2022 Turkey Trot episode, we met Jessica's sister and her dangerous boyfriend, so we know that Zhao probably doesn't have high hopes for Robin, Lillian Bowden, which is why there would be so much more pressure on Jessica to achieve the success that he wants for his daughter. It was once that episode aired that Law said she began a campaign to expand her family and have her father introduced on the show. One of my favorite things about NCIS is the fact that people gravitate towards it because of family ties, and because of the chemistry and connection between all of the characters, she says. I felt up until last year we had only just met my sister, so I really wanted to delve deeper into Knight's not necessarily history but her current situation outside of work. With the father coming in, I think we're going to learn a lot more about Knight. I'm excited to see what doors that open in the future, what other family members we can have come in. Vanessa Lachey teases personal connection to NCIS Hawaii episode. It's allowing me a lot of healing, exclusive. Calling the episode a full circle moment, Lachey tells PUPL that it's very emotional because of the ties to her childhood and credits the CBS show for allowing her to really dive into some depth. As the NCIS universe gears up to mark a major milestone, Vanessa Lachey is opening up about how the moment holds extra significance in her life. On Monday, April 15, NCIS will be celebrating its 1000th episode, followed by NCIS Hawaii airing the franchise's 1001st episode. Lachey, 43, currently leads the Hawaii-based series, starring as Jane Tennant, whom she has portrayed since the show debuted in September 2021. It's just a beautiful franchise to be a part of, Lachey tells POPL. We are hitting 1,000 episodes on April 15th, which not very many scripted primetime shows can say that. And I am just honored to come on in some capacity to add to that. According to Lachey, the Season 3 episode won't just serve as a reminder of how far the franchise has come and to kick off the next 1,000. It'll also be a way for her to reflect on her own past, Calling the episode a full circle moment, Lachey explains, "It dips into my mother who abandoned me." It is a very emotional episode. It is a very deep episode. It's actually Daniela Rua, the actress on NCIS. Lay directed it. Lachey continues, "A lot of stuff happens, and I'm nervous. I'm always going to be nervous. Those nerves," she says, "often rise up due to her background on television, which previously consisted of light-hearted roles or gigs. I came from hosting and comedy acting, and this show has allowed me to really dive into some depth," she says of NCIS, Hawai'i. And this episode, specifically with Danny directing, I think has got some really great stuff that I hope the fans love and take to. Lachey also admits it was hard to have a storyline on the show mirror such a difficult moment in her life. "It was crazy to be walking that line," says the actress who also currently co-hosts Love is Blind with husband Nick. "It's so literal, because looking at this person that's playing my abandoned mother while I'm thinking of the literal woman who abandoned me." And then, the director says, "Cut by Vanessa. Great job. See you on Monday." Getting on a plane, going to Love is Blind. Even with the jarring contrast of her two jobs, Lachey says she found the experience to be rewarding. "It was great that I had that in my arsenal, and I could see how people say acting is healing," she explains. "So in the same way that Love is Blind gives me and Nick that marriage therapy and healing, this show, and specifically this episode, the 1001, is allowing me a lot of healing. And it brought up a lot of things that I've done since then, personally as Vanessa Lachey and also Jane Tennant, which she's done since her mother left her," she adds. So I hope you like it. During Season 3 of the CBS hit, Lachey has also gotten a chance to work with LL Cool J, who is currently guest starring as Sam Hanna, his character from NCIS. "We've been fortunate to have him," Lachey says of her co-star. "He just adds another layer. What I've realized is he adds another layer for my character, Jane Tennant, to be more. I don't want to say that my guard is down, but it's definitely another layer to her that the audience hasn't gotten to see yet. So I'm totally grateful that we are able to do that. It's a fun dynamic. He is who he is, like what you see is what you get," she continues. "He comes in and he's larger than life, and he's a big teddy bear, and he's always got music going, and he's always bringing the good vibes. So it's been a great layer for us to have in Hawaii." Lachey also believes LL Cool J's guest appearance is representative of the franchise's overall growth and expansion. "I think that LL's character, Agent Sam Hanna, is allowing our ensemble of NCIS Hawaii to expand in a way that we weren't before," she shares, "and you're able to see different dynamics grow. We, as the cast, are able to kind of dive into different layers of each character. And so he's literally and figuratively shaking things up for us. And what more can you ask for when you kick off another season? Every year, you want to kind of think of a way that you can evolve the franchise, and I think this is a really great way that we can do it," she adds. "It gets people talking about the show, and that's a beautiful thing."